Welcome to the present. So, what has happened to Gabriel Martinelli this season? In comparison to last season, the productivity output has not been as he had last season. That's for sure. The numbers bear it out. The impact, the impressions have not been like last season, but not far off last season in terms of impact and impression. Uh, the easy target for especially the naysayers would be, oh, Kai Havertz has affected Martinelli. Not necessarily true. I'm not saying not partly because it's a new player in the team. They have to find some kind of understand how Kai Havertz makes his run, how Martinelli makes his run. So there'll be a little bit of a friction there, which I accept. But for me, that's not the biggest reason. Before we go into that, be kind enough to strike a like on the video. Very, very important. Strike a like on the video, subscribe if you need to subscribe, and lastly, do not forget to turn on the notification bell. Now, if you're going to look at Martinelli's numbers for this season, right here, he has made 24 appearances, 22 starts, and 2 substitute appearances, 5 goals, 4 assists. Not as impressive as what he had last season. That's for sure. But the impression is not far off what he had last season. The pace is still there, even though he suffered an injury for a month this season. But his decision making has not been as sharp as last season. And some of you will argue defenders have actually found a way to negate his runs, unlike how they negated his runs last season, which is a fair thing. But he's still a young player. He's still 22. And this kind of purple patches will always emerge. That's it. Now, the goals and assists are not as great as last season. There's still 12 more games in Premiership. Can he rack up and score more goals and make more assists before the end of the season? Possibly. Will he match last season's numbers? That's a debate. We have to wait. We have to find. With time, we'll find out. I do not say it, but it's not impossible. It's not impossible, but it's not probable for me that he will actually match the numbers in terms of productivity of last year. But the impressions are not so far. There. He's still dribbling. He's still dragging players away. He's still making those runs. Just that his decision making this season has not been the best. It's not solely to defenders negating his runs or marking him better. Sometimes, even in the last game against Newcastle, there was a chance he had opportunity of shooting with his left. He still wanted to bring to his right. Unlike Saka these days, left foot, right foot, Saka is shooting. Martinelli overly favors his right foot. I know he's a right-footed left winger. But sometimes your left foot is not just a standing foot. You can use it to shoot. These are professional footballers. You should be able to shoot with both feet. I know you have a stronger foot, but shooting with both feet should become as a trait for a top player aspiring to be a world-class player. So Martinelli needs to work on that. I don't think it's Arteta. I don't overly think is Kai affecting Martinelli. I think the decision making this season, we watch most of his games, the decision making this season has not been as extensive or flawless as he made last season. But the pace is still there. He has never had no knee injury, so he's still as rapid. For me, he's the quickest player in our ranks at the moment. So I just think it's just a purple patch. It's just part of the development of a top player. These kind of seasons happen, and I'm sure he will improve on it next season and upper season, and he will learn from this experience of this kind of dips. One more time, the numbers are not looking as great as last season. After 22 starts and 2 subs, making it 24 appearances in total this season, especially in the Premier League, 5 goals, 4 assists. Don't match the numbers he had last season. But the impressions he has made this season are not far off what he made last season. The impact he is making this season are not far off the kind of impact he made last season. So Martinelli is the top player. I will never deride him. I will never swap him for any other player, because you hear some of the Arsenal fans saying, oh, maybe Leao, maybe this. No, you can bring other players to compete, to apply a bit of competitive pressure on Martinelli. But to replace him, I don't think there are too many wingers, even in the Premier League at this moment, that are better than Martinelli. Where is the winger right now, right? Left winger that is better than Martinelli. Don't tell me Luis Diaz. Don't tell me that. He might be better with a few more goals, but he's not more rapid, he's not quicker, he's not making the kind of impact Martinelli is making at Arsenal. In similar way, Luis Diaz is making impact at Liverpool. I don't believe so. I might be wrong, but I don't see it that way. So it's just like people are forgetting that Martinelli is still 22.